Hello, my name is Chino, and welcome to my senior project, From Noise to Music, my FL Studio Journey. I was born August 18th, 1994 in Silver Spring, Maryland. I am of generation I am the first generation of American with both parents being from Nigeria, which is very lucky of me. So I got to be exposed to American music, and I got to have the exposure of also Nigerian music. So, you know, in the house, my father would always play songs like, songs from Michael Jackson, James Brown, Donna Summers, as well as play his native music from Nigeria, which had an up-tempo beat and, definitely music that you could groove to and dance to. My other music exposure was just for me just watching music videos on MTV and 106 in Park daily. I used to just enjoy just watching music videos and seeing how the songs connected to the music videos. And with that, MTV is how I discovered, got exposed to other genres besides just rap. Uh, my first my first attempt at trying music out was actually in elementary school. I attempted to join my school band. I say attempt because I did not follow through with it. Um, I My mom bought me a clarinet. I was supposed to try out for the school band, but I got cold feet, and I never tried out for the band, and that the rest was history. In middle school, I would write and share songs with friends just for fun. This was not me taking it serious. We would just write songs over beats and share it together at lunch. So that was some fun times. In high school, I started to take it more. Started taking it more serious, because high school, after high school, it's the real world. So instead of just for fun, it would be me just practicing my craft, practicing writing songs in a journal that I kept personal to myself. The only problem was I didn't have anyone that could produce for me, so well, people that could produce, you had to pay money. You had to pay money for their production, and as a high school student, I didn't have a job. So I would search online for free software that I could use to create beats for myself. And I discovered FL Studio, but it was a demo. And yeah, the program was I liked FL Studio, but with the demo, the only problem was you could not save your progress. So you could make a beat, you could do whatever you want. Everything was open, all the instruments, but at the end of the day, you couldn't save it. So it was just more of a practice, and it was good practice. It was practice that I needed. And in 11th grade, I found a way to get the free version of FL Studio without paying. I found my loopholes, and I had all the free VSTs that came with it, everything. So I learned my way around FL Studio through that cracked version that I found online. And that's the doll I just got comfortable with. I looked at YouTube, I watched tutorials and figured out the program from there. And just me playing with it, playing with FL Studio, I wanted to take producing seriously. So as graduation approached, I was trying to look for schools that I could go to that would help me gain more knowledge in producing. But at the time, I wasn't I wasn't the best student, so the only route I could take at the moment was actually community college. And unfortunately, there was no community college that I knew with an audio production program or anything I can major that's similar. So I went to Prince George's County for about about I would say about 2 years. About 2 years, and I studied psychology. I liked psychology at the beginning, but later down the line I just lost interest, you know. I couldn't see myself being a psychologist, you know. I really just wanted to be a music producer, so me losing interest, you know, I lost focus and I just dropped out for after my second year. After some after some months, a couple months, about a year, I was convinced to go back to school by my mom, and I went to Anne Arundel Community College. And like I said, there was no community college that around my area that had an audio production program. So I just did. I started off as undecided, and then I did general studies, as I just did 2 years there. But during my 2 years there, I did find one program, audio production program they had there, and that program was it only had one class, so it was just the intro program, which was fun, and it was just a program where it was just a class where they just teach you the basics of Pro Tools, and that's when it increased my love for wanting to be a producer. And of course, after leaving, I decided to leave ACC to find a university that, I buckled up and went to go find a university. And then we get to why I chose Bowie. Now, Bowie was, after asking around, Bowie was the best option for me. It was suggested by peers and people I knew that attended there. The reason why was compared to other colleges that had the best program that fit for me. It had the program I was exactly looking for. When I went on the tour, I saw all the software, I saw the studio, and I felt comfortable about going there and actually feeling like will learn something, you know. And also had a better price than the competitors. It definitely had a better price. It was 15 minutes away from my house, and as a bonus, it was at HBCU. What did I learn at Bowie? I learned how to set up. I learned how to set up studio. I learned how to set up studio equipment. I learned music theory. I learned basic piano. I learned what DAW was, a digital audio workstation. I used FL Studio, but I didn't know the short term was, DAW. So I learned how to sequence, sound design, and I learned what you do in the music industry and the business of music and marketing. As you already know, my DAW of choice is FL Studio and always will be. Or I would say, and for the foreseeable future, it will be FL Studio, just because the just because of it's affordable. It has tons of tutorials. It has a lifetime free updates, and it's just one of the DAWs I started out with, so I know a lot about. When comparing FL Studio to Logic, um, for one, the reason why I the reason why I like FL Studio is it's compatible with Windows and Mac. So if one day I do get a Mac, I could also get FL Studio. Where Logic is just Mac exclusive. That's probably one reason why I didn't get Logic, because I prefer PC than Mac. Um, the demos, it has a demo that is it's free, but like I said, you can't save anything. Logic has a 90-day free trial, but and to be fair to Logic, they do have GarageBand if you have a Mac. GarageBand is very similar to Logic Pro X. The price, both prices are pretty affordable. They're under $200. For a good edition is under $200. Um, FL Studio's interface is fully customizable, while Logic is not. The both have good sound libraries, For me using Logic at Bowie State, I could say they both have good sound libraries. Uh, the stock VSTs they come with, they're both good, but I would say FL Studio is more consistent when it comes to updating the stock VSTs. Um, they update their libraries every couple of months, whether it be they just update it. I just enjoy how they update it. The workflow, it all depends on the user. You know, it's all a preference thing. Updates, like I said, FL Studio has an update every couple of months. They at least have one. They will at least have one or two updates in a year. While Logic Pro, not often. It's not often that they get it. You'd be lucky if you get a update in 1 year. And the price for update of the update price. FL Studio promises lifetime free updates. So once you buy whatever edition you buy, it's a lifetime free update. Logic Pro, they haven't really jumped from Pro X yet, so we don't know if they would charge, or we don't know how that's gonna go. It's been Logic Pro X for a while. Now we'll talk about the FL Studio's six key features: the toolbar, the browser, the channel rack, piano roll, playlist, and mixer. The toolbar is the toolbar is, every DAW should have a toolbar. It's where the transporter is, the play, stop, record, BPM, metronome, search, settings, shortcuts, the save and delete are located. And this toolbar is fully customizable. You can customize it however you want. The browser is where you find the sound libraries, the packs, the VSTs, the presets of MIDI VSTs and mixers, the demo projects, and the backup data. So this is just the browser is just where you find everything in a folder on the left side of the interface of FL Studio. Now the channel rack is where the idea of a song begins in FL Studio. The channel rack displays the user's melodies and drum patterns. So it shows the patterns you have in the loop in the channel rack. Now there's two ways you can use the channel rack. You can either click everything in, or which I will further demonstrate down the line. You could also go use the piano roll, and and it would show the MIDI inside the channel rack, and that I will talk about. But first, I will have a video about the and my drum. This video is gonna demonstrate me making a quick drum pattern in the channel rack. This is the channel rack, and these are the instruments that I've used to create a drum pattern. I've got these. I got these instruments from the drum pack that is located in the browser, and I am using a hi-hat. I'm using a kick, and I'm using a snare. And I am going to play for you that pattern. Like I explained when I was explaining the channel rack, all you do is you click in, and that's it. It's just as easy as a click, and you play and you find out, or you figure out whatever pattern works for you, whatever sounds good, and then you continue on. The piano roll, like I said, that's the other option that you have in the channel rack. You have the patterns you can click in, or you can use the piano roll, which it's has more freedom than the just clicking into the channel rack. You could extend notes. You could put notes in different. You can make chords. Um, what I like about FL Studio is its ghost keys. You're able to see for each instrument you have in that channel rack. You could see the keys. You can see gray keys inside each instrument, which will indicate which keys are being used. It sounds confusing now, but when I show you the video, it'll be more clear. But the ghost keys just pretty much helps people structure the song because then they can figure out what they played in another pattern. Of course, you could change the velocity, the note release, note pan, and this is the video displaying me using the piano. These three instruments right here, I made a piano roll for all four of these. And we go into the piano roll, and as you can see the keys, and you can see the ghost keys, which I explained, which are the keys of the other instruments in the channel rack. So that's the cool thing about FL Studio. You can see the keys, you can see the drum pattern, and this allows you to place your chords or melodies and make sure they don't overlap or clash with each other. So that's that. And I'm going to play you guys my piano. I'm gonna play you guys the chords I made in the piano roll and the melody, I should say. The sounds I made in the piano roll. Keep it simple. And that is it. For this demonstration, I actually only tweaked the volumes. I didn't add any effects yet because I wanted to save that for the next video. And that is the piano roll. Now let's talk about the playlist. After you get all your patterns down, all the piano rolls, and all your instruments that once you think that you have done figuring out all the sounds you want, you then go into the playlist. The playlist is where you put all those sounds together in that channel rack and you build a song from it. So the channel rack is just a loop, but the playlist is where you build the song. So that's where you cut, copy, paste, stretch, and shrink. You make the length of the track. You add automation. You add vocals if you want, audio clips. It's just where you make. It's where you use everything, all your tools that you created into making a song. And here's a clip of me in the playlist. With the drum pattern and the keys I made in the piano roll, I came up with this arrangement. Now, for this arrangement, I did add sound. I did add sound effects, but I took them off so I could let you guys hear how it sounds right now. And then when I discuss the mixer, I will discuss how it sounds. I will show you guys how different it sounds right now from how different it sounds when it's full effects and everything EQ'd and everything. But right now, this is just with the volumes tweaked. As you can see, I split every sound into its own channel rack, and then after that, I came in the playlist. I copied everything and I just dragged it in. So let me show you again. I dragged it in, Control B, copied it, and then I played around with it, and I try to I played around with it and figured out what sounds best, where the hook's gonna be, where the verse is gonna be, and I came up with this. So I'm gonna just show you a little bit of it. I'll let you hear a little bit of it. And essentially, it just keeps looping and gets to the verse. That's the verse part, the hook part, the verse, the hook, until the end. And that is the song I arranged with the patterns that I had in the channel rack. The mixer is where you put all the finishing touches. You know, you put all the automation or effects in the master send. You tweak the volume a little more. You do the panning, the EQ. You plug in your effects. You know, your input outputs. That's where everything is finalized, and you form the song you want. And this clip is going to show you how I use the mixer and how I changed this previous song into the song I have now. All right, now we get to the mixer. That's where you make the magic happen. As you can see, I've added all my effects. The volumes are tweaked. You know, after you add your effects in, after I added all my effects in, I came back and I tweaked it a little bit just to make sure that, you know, nothing's overpowering anything, that you could hear all the sounds. And I put some automation on. I put a fade in, and then I put a fade out. And then I put a riser just to grab the listener's attention, you know, as the song begins. Also putting gross beats automation. Gross beats is a VST that comes with FL Studio. It's a free plugin if you get the Pro Edition, Professional Edition, I should say. And what this does is it cuts the song's BPM by a half. So to this point, it cuts it by half, and then it goes right back to 120. And you guys heard how it sounded previously, how this whole song sounded previously. Now I'm going to show you how it sounds once all these EQs, fruity choruses, and I added distortion to the 808 kick. I added some EQ to a lot of these instruments, a delay to fruity keys, some flangers, some phasers. I added another flanger that would make it's going to sound unique once you hear it. And that's why I wanted to wait on the features or the effects. And here's the song with the effects in the mixer with the automation on. it sounds completely different from how it sounded before. So once you add those effects, you tweak the volume a little more, make sure nothing's overpowering. You pan some things, some sounds from left to right. And let me skip all the way to the end so you can just hear how it ends. So yeah, this is how I got to this point from just three instruments in the channel rack that created the drum pattern, to four instruments that made the chord and melody, to arranging a full song that I could either go back and tweak some more, or I could just release it. The good thing about you know DAWs is you could always go back and you could always tweak something. You could always make it better. You could always make it sound different. You know, um, the good thing about being a producer is the freedom to be as creative as possible. So this is how it sounds with everything put into place, all the effects, all the sounds, everything enhanced. One thing I do want to show you an example of something being enhanced is the kick. As you could see, you heard the instruments were different, but as the kick, that's how it sounds in the effect. That's how it sounded before. So yeah, it definitely changes how the sound is once you know what you're doing. Once you place in the effects, and these are all stock plugins, all free VSTs that come with FL Studio. And I did that just to show you that, to show you guys that you don't need to buy expensive VSTs or expensive packs from the get-go. You can use the stock plugins you have in your DAW to create unique and interesting songs. And that is the mixer and my song. Life after college, I want to be able to continue to produce and build a clientele, working with other artists, working with companies, working with projects, and hopefully documentaries. Um, I wanna I wanna dabble into creating opening theme songs as well, as far as jingles for commercials. As this course as this course taught me, you gotta be versatile. You gotta make sure you put your foot in every lane if you want to be successful as a producer. My 5-year goal is to be able to make residual income from producing and move up in the music industry and help young artists that are thriving to enter the music industry as well. That's my goal. I want to say thank you to Dr. Pryor, Dr. Smith, and Dr. Cannon. I appreciate everything you have done to help me get this far in my college career.